Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. We have an amazing show today. To my moderators, thank you so very much. Eric H526, Luke Said Martin, thank you for being amazing moderators. To my super chat, I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding, and I don't have political action committees funneling money from one PAC to another, so your support, whether it's Patreon, to my new Patreons, thank you so very, very much. Via Super Chat, thank you for allowing me to do these live streams. So you really, give me every incentive to rock the 1 p.m. live stream and the 9 p.m. live stream. So be here at 9 p.m. this evening. And of course, on this channel, I have after the 9 p.m. Pacific live stream an upload, because I want to do an upload a day, at least on this channel. I have 2 live streams. I want to do 1 upload. And after this live stream, I'll have an upload on H.A. Goodman's other channel. There are emails or correspondence between the former vice president's son and an individual in another country pertaining to the former vice president meeting this individual because his son set up the meeting. The emails were obtained from a laptop found with a laptop that was sent to a computer store in Delaware. So the hilarious thing about this is suddenly Democrats are putting their thinking caps on, and they're like, wait a second, this can't happen. Wait, we have to look at every angle of this story. In fact, one of the people involved in this has been accused or charged with being a Russian operative well, they literally, and I'll read you, they spent 4 years hyping up, trying to legitimize, trying to lend credibility to a dossier that was literally disinformation from the Kremlin. This is what our intelligence services, even back then under Comey, Clapper, and Brennan, said, yeah, it's probably disinformation. And it was compiled. The dossier was not only purchased by Trump's direct political rival in Clinton, they literally purchased their own myth that Trump worked with Russia. Check it out. This is a Vanity Fair article. Source A of the Steele dossier, to use the careful nomenclature, check this out. They had like 3 or 4 Vanity Fair articles, a whole bunch of articles in Mother Jones and The Nation, and, well, I don't know about The Nation, although I think that they referenced the Steele dossier, but the Washington Post, the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, they all tried to, BuzzFeed, of course, they all tried to lend credibility and legitimacy to not only an unverified dossier, but a dossier that was literally compiled, and this is a Vanity Fair article, Source A, to use the careful nomenclature of his dossier, was a, quote, senior Russian foreign ministry official. Source B was, and this is the most important part of this entire live stream. Check this out. They literally used a dossier purchased by Clinton. So Clinton purchased this dossier. She outsourced it to Fusion GPS. They outsourced it to Christopher Steele. And then people say, well, I mean, she didn't know that there were so many Kremlin associates involved. Again, if it was Trump, it would be a direct line. So, of course, when you outsource anything, you are linked, especially in this hysteria, you're linked directly to the Kremlin agent or the Kremlin official. But here, source B of the dossier Clinton purchased, because she eventually got the dossier. So, Democrats got what they paid for, and if they didn't ask how it was compiled, that's their problem. Source B was, quote, now pay attention, everybody. I'm not speaking to my viewers because I know everyone is up to speed on this. but any Democrat watching, this is a Vanity Fair article. Source B was a, quote, a former top-level intelligence officer still active in the Kremlin. And both of these insiders, after, quote, speaking to a trusted compatriot, would claim that the Kremlin had spent years getting its hooks into Donald Trump. Source B was, quote, a former top-level intelligence officer still active in the Kremlin. They literally used a dossier where they were boasting and bragging about, where they were bragging and boasting that it was compiled by a former a current Russian intelligence official still active in the Kremlin. A former top-level intelligence officer still active in the Kremlin. This is an article by Howard Bloom, March 30th, 2017, how ex-spy Christopher Steele compiled his I'm not even going to use the word, his amazing Trump-Russia dossier. They never utilized the same standards of behavior that they demand from Trump. Luke St. Martin, Eric H526, thanks for being the best moderators in all of YouTube. I can't stress enough how important this article by Howard Bloom in Vanity Fair is. It tries to champion and legitimize and glorify and romanticize the fact that, well, obviously the dossier is accurate because, well, I mean, there's so many Kremlin associates who have been involved in trying to compile the dossier. Now, you know me. I look at Clinton in the same way I would look at Caligula or Nero. If the Roman Emperor Caligula, or the Roman Emperors Caligula or Nero, invite you to a banquet, you're what's for dinner, so don't go. If they praise you, don't accept the praise. So when they write a Medium article, so when Clinton writes a Medium article, she could have been published in the New York Times. She's going to be on that ballot before November 3rd. On November 3rd. And she's going to replace, first of all, President Trump is going 8 years. This will be the end, the official end of the polling industry and mainstream media. The paradigm, as we know it, will end on November 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Nobody will trust. People, over 50% of Americans do not trust media. Let's see, percent of Americans distrust media. 84% of a Gallup poll say that media is to blame for the divisiveness in the country. Americans trust in mass media edges down 41%, so 60% of Americans do not trust media. Only 13% trust media a great deal, 28% trust media a fair amount, and of course 69% of Democrats, 15% of Republicans, and 36% of independents. This is why, despite the apoplectic, seething, fuming media attention, negative 92% negative media coverage against Trump, this is why it really doesn't matter, because most Americans don't trust media. Okay, because media can report, the New York Times, the Washington Post report facts. It is a fact that the dossier implicated President Trump and Michael Flynn. And then they leave it at that. It is also a fact, so if you just reported that, and then you asked people what their suspicions were, you would get the impression that, oh, I don't know, Trump and Flynn and Carter Page and Papadopoulos all worked with Russia. You start with a fact that a dossier purchased by Clinton implicates Trump. You ignore other facts. So this is why media can get away with the duplicitous, deceitful, disingenuous, dishonest narrative. You report one fact. You do not report facts that undermine a narrative that you're trying to convey. So if you reported with the same fervor or the same enthusiasm or the same intensity or the same focus, if you reported that Madam Secretary had purchased the dossier along with the DNC, more people would have been suspicious as to the true motives of an unverified bunch of garbage. The garbage implicated Trump. Nobody investigated whether the garbage was legitimate or not. Now they're saying you don't know if these emails are real. And Rudy Giuliani is under criminal investigation. Glenn Shipley. Early voting, it doesn't matter for president. Nice. She doesn't have to be on the ballot. Glenn Shipley, great point. Everyone, Madam Secretary does not have to be on the ballot. And I'll explain. Madam Secretary does not have to be on the ballot. There's an article. Former DNC chairman calls for Clinton contingency plan. Politico in 2016. It's about the Electoral College. And the electors don't need Clinton on the ballot until Election Day. So here, I'll read you. The way the electors work is that the last person standing will get Biden's votes. Just like the last so there were questions as to whether Clinton would be replaced in September of 2016. So here, I'll read you this. So Carmack argues that this issue will be moot, the issue of whether early voting has already started, because it's up to members of the Electoral College, typically loyal partisans, to cast ballots for president. If a replacement for Clinton were offered, those electors in states won by Democrats would almost certainly cast ballots for the party's preferred nominee. So I never said when she'd be nominee. If you notice, I never said she'd win Iowa. I never said I expected she'd be there at the convention, but I always added a caveat: if they're so inept as to not. I expected her to be there for debates, and I said if they're so inept as to not have her there. Eventually, they're going to replace Botox be the exhumed body, because there's no base of exhumed bodies around the country. When you hear Biden up 17 nationally, this is public relations. This is the end of the polling industry. They can't be wrong not just somewhat wrong, drastically wrong, and they can't fall back on, well, we got the popular vote. They never said that the 3 million votes would trickle in after Election Day in 2016. They were expecting the popular vote to be to go Clinton's, and they were expecting it to be spread out throughout the country. When you hear Clinton up 17, you're also under the impression that she's up 17, that she's up a great deal, or Biden's up a great deal, in up until he's replaced by Madam Secretary. You're under the impression that he's up throughout the country. They didn't say the popular vote brought to you by California. It's not like it's like, the Rose Bowl brought to you by AT&T. So they never use that caveat. They just say popular vote, then they say percentage to win the presidency, and they say 70 to 90% Clinton. They were wrong. And I was quoted in NPR saying that Clinton would lose to Trump. And the link is below. Christopher! Sleepy Joe, have a bad day. Exactly, Christopher. Look, Every day from here on out is like an eternity. Every single day is an eternity. We don't have 3 weeks until the election. We have 3 months. Think of it as 3 months. Do not think of it as 3 weeks. Each day is a week. Each week is a month. Oh, that doesn't come out to that, but you know what I mean. Do not think of it. Do not think of this election as in the normal way you think of time. Time has stopped or has slowed down. Time has slowed down to a frightening pace. Don't think of this election as well, it's too late at this point for Clinton. Nothing is ever too late for either Clinton. They don't have the same mentality as normal everyday people. They don't have the same mentality. Nothing is impossible to. There's a certain mentality in some people say this type of person has, issues, but there's a certain mentality that says there's never, ever, it's never over. It's never over. Vance Agarwal, I told you about bar that got away with it. Don't worry, Vance, don't worry about, I wouldn't, when you hear mainstream saying, oh, he ended the investigation, I wouldn't buy into the unmasking investigation. There's like 10. The Durham probe is not ended. Vance, it has to be after the election because they need media support. They're not going to do anything before the election. But ladies and gentlemen, you have an email now. Emails showing that glue on. You missed my last super chat, but here's another. I apologize. Glue on. Thank you. Let me look and see. I apologize. Glue on. Oh, glue on. HA, keep fighting the good fight. Trump 2020. Thank you. Glue on. I didn't see that. I apologize. Glue on. Thank you. Stony Stone. Yahoo November 3rd coming soon, brother. Game on. Exactly. Stony Stone. You can't make this up news. Hello. I hope all is well. So they found emails that prove the vice president's son was chosen to be on a board for access. See, cash flow to... This is a New York Times article. Cash flow to Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal. Democrats say, well, there's no evidence of wrongdoing. Well, there's no evidence of wrongdoing with Trump's taxes. The suspicion, the assumptions, I have yet to hear any corruption associated with Trump. Well, he's making a lot of money. Who's reporting this? Who's reporting that he's making money from the presidency? Well, the New York Times reported it. Well, where did they get the information? The New York Times reported that he paid $750 from an audit that journalists performed on public record knowledge. That's like giving a checkup. That's like getting a health checkup from a doctor on a Zoom meeting in Antarctica because he looks at you and says, oh, well, you know what? I think you're feeling this and that, and I think that, I can tell what's going on in your body through this Zoom meeting in Antarctica. P. Ramos, keep it up. Thank you, P. Ramos. Thank you so very, very much. Sparky. Sally, oh, wow. Wow, Sparky. Thank you. That's interesting. P. Ramos, thank you so very, very much. Thank you so very, very much. Sparky, thank you. That is interesting. P. Ramos, thank you so very, very much. So, Edwards, thank you, Edward, thank you. So, we have evidence now, and the only thing they have to say is, well, we don't know if the emails are accurate. They could have immediately stated the emails were doctored. See, the reason they don't say, and this is why they didn't say the DNC emails were doctored, because then they would have to prove it, and then you would have, it was just like when the MSNBC pundit tried to say that the Russians hacked her account. You had a whole bunch of metadata or, cyber data that people who really understand technology said, no, that's impossible. So they don't ever say the emails were not from me or the emails were doctored, because then they would be proven to be lying even further. So again, I can assure you that, and even I'm kind of speaking, because the reason I don't use Biden on a subject matter in my emails is that a lot of times if you use the word Biden, it's an issue. I'll leave it at that. So, the entire media is covering up every single possible thing, every single possible negative story, because, Jimmy, thank you. I think that you have never in your life seen a candidate so horribly suited. Sparky, just a reminder, replaced him when she was fired. Oh, okay, gotcha. Thank you, Sparky. You've never seen, if you've seen a little baby dove, a baby quail, a newborn baby quail, you've never seen more coddling and more care and attention. And you've never seen a softer touch than the media with Biden holding him gently. It's just holding him gently, caressing him. You've never seen more care. Biden, we don't want to crack you, break you, hurt you in any way. And he's like, yeah, I was running for Senate. I'm running for Senate. This is the second time he said this. And he's like, oh, yeah, that guy from, the guy who put his dog on his car, Utah, dog, Utah. 2 syllables, 3 syllables. It's like charades with this man. I swear to God, it's charades with this man. Utah, dog car. He wore mittens. Romney rhymes with Schmomney. Romney, Mitt Romney, Biden. You forgot his name? Did you forget his name? Wild Cajun, thank you. And Paul Bartlett, hello. And it's unbelievable because like Biden is like this newborn, precious little, delicate flower, little dove quail, little, like little puppy. I don't even know. Like, what's the most, like, sensitive, delicate creature on the planet? You know what he's like? He's like a chemical substance that if it's moved like half a centimeter in one direction or another, the entire fate of the planet is at stake. And still Still, he's absolutely horrendous. You couldn't find a worse candidate. So it's not happening. It's not happening. And you don't, when Caligula writes a Medium article, there's something going on. Okay, go look up how nefarious the Roman emperors were. How sociopathic they were. Okay? When Madam Secretary endorses you, it's like the Marquis de Sade inviting you to a party in your honor and saying that he wants to give you a present in front of everyone there. You probably don't want to attend. You probably don't want his present. You just probably don't want to attend. So, I'm just telling you, like, nobody has ever been more qualified. Nobody has ever been more dignified. And you have to understand, there's no way. Right now, Democrats only win. And this is the formula since JFK. Democrats only win with high voter turnout in urban areas. Okay? You need high voter turnout in cities. Now, cities have been decimated because of very peaceful protests. And you're not going to get the high voter turnout with either Biden or Madam Secretary. But Clinton will make it closer when Clinton replaces Biden. Because I'm telling you, you don't need... Okay, it doesn't matter that she's not on the mail-in ballots. Okay, that was like... That even got me worried for a second. But then I'm like, wait. And I found that the Electoral College doesn't care. When you look at the way the Democratic Party operates, nothing. You would think that there would be a limit to the hypocrisy. So people say, I can't imagine. I mean, it's too late in the game for Clinton to replace Biden. It's never impossible for them to do anything. Never impossible for them to do anything. It's just never impossible for them to do anything. Axios, Joe Biden is the luckiest, least scrutinized frontrunner. Yeah, there you go. You have even, it's interesting, the New York Post article is not being, I'm looking at this now, the New York Post article is not being refuted. They never refute or say this did not happen. They always try to get the messenger. And when Beverly, hi AJ and everyone. I don't know how much more of the corruption I can take. More impressions, please.
Beverly, thank you so very much. Mr. McConnell, thank you. Beverly.
Or we can do, I guess we can try to do Clinton. Oh, Beverly, I want to thank you so very much. Thank you, Beverly. And I just want to thank you on behalf of my wife, who will eventually replace Botox B, the exhumed body. Beverly! You know what? With the corruption, Beverly, it's just... This is almost, think of it like theater. Think of it like a theater. Think of it like, not Bill. I don't know why people don't like my voice. I've always been genuine with people. I guess the good Lord upstairs doesn't like me. Beverly, I would think of it as theater of the absurd. But what are the chances? Even if, look, of course I've gone out on a limb for the past 4 years, but I'm telling you, it's not that I was traumatized because Bernie Sanders was cheated and Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign, and Democrats then turned Bernie Sanders into a human doormat and then blamed Russia for 4 years trying to set up and frame Trump and everyone around him because they cheated Bernie Sanders in 2016 and they cheated him again in 2020 in Iowa, and they'll cheat him again in 2024, and they'll cheat him again in 2028, they'll cheat him again in 2032, they'll cheat him again in 2036, they'll cheat Bernie Sanders again in 2040, they'll cheat Bernie Sanders again in 2044. It's not because I'm traumatized. It's not because I'm consumed with Bernie Sanders being cheated. That has nothing to do with it. There you go again. H.A. Badman. If I can get over it, why can't you? But you know what I can't get over? You know what I can't get over? Lizzie. Oh, Liz. Thank you so much, Liz. How are you doing today? You doing good? It's so good to see you. I noticed you didn't want to say hello at the cafeteria. Why is that? Why didn't you want to say hello to me, Lizzie? Oh, you were busy? Oh, okay. Busy Lizzie. I think it's very interesting that you showed some courage and conviction in 2016 when you endorsed me. Oh, that was very nice. Remember that when I was on the ropes? And I was listening to Dionne Warwick. That's what friends are for. Remember that, Lizzie? Remember when you endorsed me and you gave me, well, because you have a carbon copy of my platform. You took a facsimile. You took a photocopy of my platform. So you endorsed me. Remember in 2016? Oh, that's right. You didn't. Hung me out to dry. I had to deal with the Michigas all on my own. Yeah. But that's okay, Elizabeth. That's okay. Because, that's okay, Elizabeth, because, you made up for everything in 2020. Want to know how you made up for it? You said that, I said that a woman couldn't win. Remember that? Remember when you said that I said a woman couldn't win? I thought we were only going to do that to Trump, but you did that to me, didn't you? Thanks a lot, Elizabeth. With friends like you, who needs enemies? Beverly! Thank you, Beverly. Tech Epiphany! Republicans failed to reforms. Yeah, but, okay, Tech Epiphany, the one thing I will say, though, is that we have the New York Post. So, and we have Fox and the New York Post. Tech Epiphany, if you type in, see, this is the thing. President Trump one thing, President Trump, everybody doesn't really need much help from anyone, even though it would be nice to have, like, no censorship and, like, it would be totally nice to have a normal media. But type in Botox B, the exhumed body, or just his name. You get Fox News, okay, about the wonderful emails under investigation. Senate Homeland Security, Ron Johnson is now, of Wisconsin, is now investigating. New York Post. So, I mean, you're getting it out. It's out there now. They've addressed, it's on it. Look, it's at least on their radar. It's at least on their radar. You have Donald Trump Jr. now, I think. You have a whole, I mean, the president's, Herschel Walker, love Herschel Walker. Georgia, let's vote to keep our freedoms for the best country in the world. Love Herschel Walker. I mean, you look, the great Jim Brown with prison reform legislation. I mean, the best football player of all time. Jim Brown, Walter Payton, and Jerry Rice. You could say, either one, you could say the best football player of all time. But Herschel Walker, best college player of all time, at least one of the best college players of all time, in the top 3, 4, maybe number 1. But he's awesome. His son is also awesome. He's also very, very strong. Like they both are patriotic and vocal supporters of the president and of the country, which is fantastic. Oh, there was one of the best. This was when one of the senators has all these like these poster boards that he keeps looking at and they fall over. It's kind of hilarious. And and this is one of the best things I've ever read. This is on Steven Crowder's, one of his channels. The Democrats need to be investigated to see if they have any ties to America. That's one of the best things I've ever read, and he actually loved that post or whatever, that comment. Oh my God, that's so hilarious! It's one of the most hilarious things I've ever read in my life. Yes, and Jorge Masvidal is a Trump supporter, helping President Trump in Miami. He's going to have a huge influence, huge impact. Especially the Latino vote is going to give President Trump the victory. Hispanic and Latino voters will give President Trump the victory in Florida and around the country. See, Democrats, they miscalculated as always. Oh my God. This is horrendous. Ian Miles Chong has wow. Wow. This is unbelievable. So you have All right, so trying to read this. Okay. You have a lot going on now, ladies and gentlemen, where where media is not, like, they're not even really, they're almost, it's almost against the law to cover anything disparaging about Botox B. I mean, it's almost, it's unbelievable because he's such a horrendous candidate. He's such a failure of a candidate that this cannot be real. And I've been telling you for 4 years what's going to happen. Clinton, I cannot imagine any scenario where Madam Secretary says, oh, here, Biden, you become president. Now, the underlying amusement is that when I say this, I know very well that people, especially on the left, are petrified. There are things on Democrats are petrified here. The first thing they're afraid of is Madam Secretary. The second thing they're afraid of is the Green New Deal. Then they're petrified also of Medicare for all. They're basically afraid of themselves. They are frightened beyond belief of who they are, which is why they're not going to win the election. So, Sparky! Oh, wow. Nice. Sparky on a team with Herschel Walker 30 years ago. Nice. Which in Georgia or Dallas? Minnesota? Sparky! Sparky, wish I'd aged as well as him. Yeah, he looks great. I'm sure you look great too, Sparky. Which team, Sparky? That's awesome. And what position did you play, if you don't mind saying? Sparky. Thank you. William R. Abrams III, watching you instead of Rally, greatly appreciated. I appreciate that. William R. Abrams III. Let's read this New York Post article here. So, exclusive. Correspondents reveal how son of vice president introduced vice president to businessman in foreign country. Wow, you know which country I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about, so we'll just go with it this way. The vice president's son introduced his father, then the vice president, to a top executive in an energy firm less than a year before. The former vice president pressured the government into terminating a prosecutor who was investigating the company. Wow. Dear son of the vice president, thank you for inviting me to D.C. and giving me an opportunity to meet your father. Wow. And spend some time together. It's really an honor and pleasure. Then they say, well, there's no evidence it ever happened. Yeah, well, that's the way Democrats work. You have media that doesn't want to, they don't care. They don't want to investigate. That's why, look, the same Medicare for all people went after me because I reported and talked about the Clinton email. Nice! Sparky! University of Georgia. That was a great team. I think that they won the national title his first or second year. That was a great team. And that team, the Herschel Walker Georgia teams, that's when, like, because I'm a big USC Trojan fan, Sparky, that's when it was, well, those are the years like USC would run, student body right, student body left. And I know Georgia would just hand the ball to Herschel Walker. Like, on third down. You have to be pretty awesome, pretty amazing. You have to be pretty amazing when it's 3rd and 30, or even 3rd and 7, to get the ball as a running back at 3rd and 7. That's like your best. That's your best chance right there. You're not going to throw the ball like that's all they do nowadays is throw the ball. You have to be pretty amazing. You have to be pretty awesome. At 3rd and 7, when the defense knows the running back's getting the ball, and still getting the fourth down, the first down. That's what Herschel Walker and Georgia did. Sparky, that's awesome. KSNF, KSNF. When Baby Quail is KSNF to my UK viewers. Long live John Lydon. Long live Johnny Rotten. A true punk. Always. And there's nothing more punk than Trump. If you support Trump, you support punk music. That's for sure. Or punk mentality. KSNF. And by the way, President Trump is against and opposes racism. He is the only president to make funding to historically black colleges and universities permanent, and to allocate more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever, including President Obama. And absolve Danielle, thank you, and absolve $300 million in loans, which is fantastic, from Katrina. And sign the First Step Act, and have record low unemployment, and have economic opportunity zones in economically depressed areas. And the rebuttal is, well, you know, and it's not helping yet. It's like, well, KSNF, Sparky. No one can do Herschel over the top like Herschel. Exactly. That was. Marcus Allen was pretty good at that. Also, Sparky, thank you. Love Herschel Walker. That's awesome. Sparky, that is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Awesome, Sparky. KSNF. Will the progressives rise or recede? They will get decimated. The Democrats will decimate the progressives. I don't say this with glee, because there's a lot of nice people and good people. KSNF. They will get absolutely crushed and decimated after the election. Now, you're going to see KSNF. You're going to see the mentality that, well, if you didn't listen to us, believe me, I know that mentality. I had that mentality. But that mentality is not going to see. The progressives are going to be blamed for everything, like they always are. The thing is, though, that they don't have they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to, like, I took heat from a bunch of and let's put it this way, I forgive, but I don't forget. So I have if any of them even so much as mention my name, I have a litany of everything from public record information, everything from dark money PACs associated with AOC to the people who said vote for Clinton and spent years talking about Medicare for all after saying vote for Clinton, who didn't have the courage or the conviction or the integrity or the intelligence or the wisdom to actually cover or report or even talk about top secret intelligence on email servers. This is what progressives should have talked about. Instead, they want to annoy Nancy Pelosi to the point where she says, fine, here's Medicare for all. That's not the way they work. The Democratic Party doesn't work this way. And we'll see when Clinton replaces Biden, because this entire thing is the biggest charade of all time. They can't, look, it's sad and pathetic, but Clinton is she's the best candidate they have at this time. She's infinitely better than Biden. She would get that enthusiasm to where I'd be worried a little bit. Deep inside, I know that everyone thinks this is a cop-out. It's not. Deep inside, I'm saying this like, an hour into this. Deep inside, I'm hoping that, not hoping, but like deep inside, I'll be very happy if she doesn't. I know she will, but I'll be very happy if she doesn't replace Biden. I know she will, though. But I will be very happy because I'll go into Election Day saying, yeah, that's no problem. When they replace Biden with Clinton somehow, it's going to be it's going to be a bit frightening because Clinton does have a built-in base of support. So she can literally just come in 3 days a week before, and that's not a problem. KSNF, thank you. The progressives will get decimated because they'll be blamed. They don't know how to fight back, and they should have simply started their own political party or joined the Green Party, and then told Democrats that if they don't change, they will not. If they don't change, they will not get their votes. If they don't pass a Medicare for All bill, they will not get their votes. KSNF, thank you. HA. Hey, HA, did you hear another hit? Oh, Angela Goodwin. You know what? Let me see. See, this is the thing. Improper messaging relationship. I'm not like judging anyone based on morality. I'm judging based on intelligence or wisdom. You're in the public eye, so if you're cheating on your wife or husband, everyone's going to find out. So I don't get it. Wow. Look, you know what? How can I, what is not doing what people said I would do. Thank you. Angela, thank you. Mitchell Smith. Hello, HA. Have you checked out the heated argument between Wolf Blitzer and Nancy Pelosi yesterday? Perhaps a sign the mainstream media is coming. Great work by you. Yes, Mitchell Smith. I think what's taking place, Mitchell. Thank you so very much. KSNF. Thank you very much. As always, KSNF to my UK viewers. Thank you. Please be here to my UK, Australian viewers. I have viewers in Mexico, South Korea, Hong Kong. Everyone, please be here. November 3rd, all throughout November. Paul Bartlett, hello. Mitchell, I think it's just a matter of they're getting bored and they have nothing else to talk about. They're getting bored and they have nothing else to talk about regarding President Trump. So they just have nothing else to talk about. I think that's what the issue is. I think that is pretty much, I think they're trying desperately to protect Biden. They're trying desperately to protect Biden. The problem, Mitchell, is that he's so horrendous. He's so horrendous, they can't possibly protect him. It's impossible for them to protect him because he's just so horrendous. Sparky! Mitchell Smith, thank you so very much. I know you will be here November 3rd. Mitchell, thanks for all your support always and your kind words always. Thank you. Sparky! You know what? I didn't know he went to UGA basketball. Best sports nickname ever, human highlight film, Dominique Wilkins. Love Dominique Wilkins. Love him. UGA basketball. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I probably knew that, but Sparky, nice. I love the human highlight reel Dominique Wilkins. I love Dominique Wilkins. He had some of the best dunks of all time. I mean, he and Michael Jordan and Sean Kemp, I would say, Sean Kemp is the best in terms of dunking the ball, along with Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. Thank you, Mitchell. Thank you. Sparky. But yeah, I love Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker and Bo Jackson should be in the NFL Hall of Fame just because of their, they might not have the overall numbers, but it doesn't matter. Just because of their impact. I think there should be some place in the Baseball Hall of Fame for Bo Jackson also. I mean, but definitely the NFL Hall of Fame, just because of their impact. Just because of their impact on football. Like when you think Hall of Famer, you do think Herschel Walker and Bo Jackson. You do. Just because they were Hall of Fame players when they played. It's just that you have to, I guess, I think that I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. I really do. I really do. You look at what Pete Rose did for baseball. He did more good for baseball than bad, and he's paid his dues. People say, well, there has to be rules. You know what? There are rules. He paid his dues, and I don't see owners giving back all the money they got in the 90s from performance-enhanced athletes. And I wrote about this. I said Barry Bonds should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I said this. I wrote about this in the Huffington Post Sports. I think so. I love sports. Love Jason Whitlock also. Ryan Jackson, Sparky. If Bo hadn't broken his hip, I know. I was at a Raider game, and that's why one of the reasons I love the Raiders. I was at a Raider game, Sparky, in 1987, it has to be 87 or 88, where Bo Jackson ran 80 yards on a sweep and then 90 yards on a sweep against the Broncos. Sparky, thank you. Ryan Jackson, nice to catch you on. Been on a Hurricane Laura and Delta Strike team for a while now, living out of my ambulance. Wow, I've been blasting you and VCP. Nice. Wow, Ryan Jackson. Everyone, give Ryan Jackson a lot of love. Give Ryan Jackson a lot of love. Wow. Helping people during some devastating natural disasters going on. Thank you so very much, Ryan. I'm honored that, first of all, love Black Conservative Patriot also. He's fantastic. But Ryan, I am honored that you're listening to me, and hopefully with my wacky impressions or just basically all the nonsense going on, it's amusing to listen to. But thank you so very much, Ryan, for listening. It is an honor to have you listen as you're doing so many great things. In Judaism, there's a word called mitzvah. So you're doing a great deal of mitzvahs, which means good deeds. You can't do anything better in life than to save people's lives, to help people, help people get through a natural disaster that has affected a great many human beings. So Ryan, you're doing a lot of good deeds, a lot of amazing things, and just keep on doing what you're doing. Thank you so very much for listening. It means a lot to me, and I appreciate it. Everyone on this chat, give Ryan a lot of love for just being awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you too, Ryan, and I want to thank everybody here. Beverly, don't think I forgot. I want to thank you also. I want to thank everybody. Especially I want to thank my wife and the little baby quail I call Biden. Biden the baby quail. Oh, you're ready to almost leave the little nest, Biden. As we just drop you off into... and the Clintons would be like, oh, look, a baby quail. Plop. They would be like, I think you're ready now to be on your own. They're like, on the top branch of the tree. Fly, my pretty fly. Uh-oh. Plop. Oh, my God. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know how. But one thing I do know is that when Caligula writes a Medium post, it's not what it seems. When Nero and Caligula, first of all, that dorsal fin ain't Flipper. So, it's not Shamu and it's not Flipper. And when Nero and Caligula invite you for a party, don't go. Don't go at all. Sparky! Bo knows it's true. He liked all sports, even fishing and hunting. That's right. He went to Auburn, but he's still okay. SEC rules. SEC is awesome. SEC is awesome. I love USC, the USC Trojans, but Georgia. I like Sparky, any college team, like even Notre Dame is our rival, but I like the tradition that Notre Dame has, the tradition that Georgia has, the tradition that Auburn and Alabama and let's see, Georgia. Their rivalry, I knew this. It's Florida, Georgia. That's right. The Florida, Georgia rivalry. That's been going on a long time. So, that started in 1904. Georgia 52. Wow. Look at that. Sparky. Georgia 52, Florida 0. But they had some good years in the 90s, though. I remember. Yeah, love Georgia Bulldogs. You see, one thing that you always have Herschel Walker. You have a lot of other great players also, but you always have Herschel Walker. SC, we have Marcus Allen, Junior Seau. We have the whole. List goes on. We can just. But I like Notre Dame has a great many Hall of Famers also. Let's see. Sparky, thank you. Barkley went to Auburn too. He recovered. That's right. Actually, Frank Thomas. Auburn has a bunch of awesome. Auburn has Frank Thomas, Hall of Fame baseball, Charles Barkley, Hall of Fame basketball, and Bo Jackson, and then Cam Newton. But Bo Jackson, like I said, should be in the Hall of Fame, just as like some kind of tribute, and Herschel Walker too. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. Sparky, thank you. Everyone, thank you. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. After my 1 o'clock, I always have a segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel.
So check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. In about 15 minutes, everybody. I'm going to be talking about this. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. To my Super Chat, God bless. KSNF, Sparky, everybody here. Beverly, everybody here, thank you. Be here, everyone, at 9 p.m. tonight. Be here at 9 p.m. tonight, everybody. We have a live stream of live streams tonight. I'll tell you, it's going to be awesome. Be here at 9 p.m. I'll see you later, everyone. Thank you so very, very much. Eric and Luke, thank you. Ryan Jackson, thank you for watching always. Greatly appreciated. And keep on doing amazing, amazing things. And everyone, be here at 9 p.m. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. Thank you.